Good afternoon, Trucker Todd here again. After I shot this video you're about to watch, I realized that I didn't preface it with what I wanted to say. I had been wanting to do a video for a while where I answered questions about Roadrunner, questions people had asked me in emails and stuff. I found that I was getting a lot of the same questions. I just decided that if I'm getting that many emails, there's probably 10 times that many more people that are wanting to know more, and I decided to shoot a video. After I got all the way to the end of it, I forgot to mention something that I wanted to mention in the beginning. A YouTuber friend of mine, a guy that I actually went through orientation with at Roadrunner, mentioned me on his YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a link in the description to get below. His name's Randy's Roadlife on YouTube, and he was encouraging his viewers to contact me with questions about Roadrunner. And since I was doing a video about Roadrunner questions today, I thought I'd give him a shout out on here, and I'll put a link to that video of his down below. But he does kind of a different kind of video channel than I do. His is more about health and nutrition, living on the road, being a professional. He has some videos about backing, some instructional videos, and generally puts out a lot of good information. If you haven't seen any of his stuff, I would encourage you to go over and check him out. And now let's get into the video that I was originally wanting to show you. But like I said, at the end of the video, be sure and check out his link, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Well, hello again, Trucker Todd here. Time for another video. You know, over the past few weeks especially, I've been getting a lot of emails asking me a lot of questions about Roadrunner, if I'm still here, if I like it, all kinds of questions. And I've been doing my best to email everybody back and respond, and I decided it would be best. My phone rings every time I shoot a video. I decided it would be best to just make a video and answer as many of those questions as I could. So I went back and reviewed some of the emails, made myself some notes, and I thought we'd go through that today. Now, before we do, I want to tell you guys about what's coming up. I've done a lot of positive videos about Roadrunner Freight lately, but I've also been getting some questions. Well, do you like it there? What do you not like about it? So in the next video, unless something newsworthy happens that I need to talk about first, I'm going to actually mention to you a couple of weak links at Roadrunner, things I don't like about Roadrunner. Now, having said that, let's keep in mind that every company, no matter how good or bad they are, has their strong points and their weak points. And we'll jump into that. You have heard me say in previous videos that Roadrunner is the best place I've ever leased a truck from. And so, also, I'm going to have a big announcement coming within the next week or so. It is regarding Roadrunner Freight, and it could potentially affect this channel and many of the people that watch it. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. I'm still waiting for some stuff, and then I'll be able to comment a little more about what's coming, but I do have a big announcement coming. For those reasons, I'd like you all to make sure that you are subscribed. After you hit subscribe, wait a couple of seconds, a little bell will pop up, and put that you want to receive notifications. That way, when I put these videos out, you'll see them, and you can see what's going on and see me answer these questions. Also, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you hate this video, give it a thumbs down. I totally understand. And share this video on your social media platforms or with people that you think could use this information. For example, if you've heard somebody recently say they might like to work at Roadrunner, they've been checking Roadrunner out, show them this video and my next one that's coming out. In the description below this video, I'll leave my email address. If you're interested in coming to work at Roadrunner, shoot me a message. I'll put you in touch with a good recruiter that can answer all of your questions in an honest and fair way, and I'll be in the mix too to help you out. So also feel free to leave a comment below. That works too. But let's jump right into this. The first question I want to answer is, am I happy here at Roadrunner? And the answer is yes. Very happy. By far the best company I've ever leased a truck from. They're not perfect. They got their issues, as you'll see in that next video I referred to. But overall, it's a great place to work, and I'm very happy thus far. As far as why I haven't put any videos out about them lately, honestly, things have been going pretty smooth. I can only make so many videos going, everything's great, everything's great. When there are issues, I'll bring them up. There's bound to be from time to time with any company. But as of late, there hasn't really been anything worth telling you about that was bad. Everything's been great. And I found that just getting on here and saying everything's great doesn't make a great video. And so, yes, I'm very happy here. I haven't picked up a magazine or looked for another job in a long time. I actually got offered a home everyday job, and I turned it down because things are just very good here right now. How much experience do I have to work at Roadrunner? It really depends on the department. I'm in the LTL division, which is what I recommend, and from what I understand, they want a year's experience, a year's OTR experience. Now, as I said, on some of this stuff, I'd like to refer you to a recruiter. So, for example, if you're at 10 or 11 months, I'd like to get you with a recruiter and not just say, no, they're not going to take you. So, email me. Let's talk about it, and then I'll put you in touch with the recruiter lady that I work with, and we'll go from there. And so that's basically my answer to that question. If you're interested in another division, they have, a reefer division, things like that. The experience levels may be different, and I would hope the recruiter could answer those questions for you as well. I would rather tell you, as far as I know, a year than I had mislead you. All right, let's jump to the next question. What kind of trucks do they offer? Well, I've seen internationals, which I like the internationals. I've seen Volvos, both 670s and I believe 780s, and I've seen KWs. What kind of truck can you get? Well, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Some of it, honestly, is going to depend on your credit and which leasing company you go through. I don't know exactly how many leasing companies they deal with. I know of 3 personally, but there very well could be more than that. Those kind of questions, again, I'd like to pair you up with a recruiter to get those questions answered, because they can tell you more about truck availability and qualifications for each truck. I know most of them are no down payment, but I do believe a few of them do have down payment. And so rather than giving you details and possibly wrong information, what I'd like to do, if you have questions about trucks, is get you with someone that could answer that question better than I could. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, but I'd like to mention it again. Don't get so bogged down in, I've got to have this kind of truck, that you make a bad decision. All of these trucks are tools to make money with, just like a mechanic has tools. Sure, it's nice to have a big, pretty chrome truck going down the highway, but it's more important to make a good paycheck where you can take care of your family. So don't get wrapped up so much in a truck that it's either I get this truck or nothing at all. Talk to them, work with them. They're good people, and they want you to be happy, so they're going to try to meet your request as best they can. But it always works better if you guys can meet in the middle and if you have a little flexibility, they're going to have more flexibility too. So I would just say, when it comes to truck selection, try to have an open mind. On top of that too, orientation. Now, this is to the best of my knowledge. Orientations are in Dallas, Chicago, and Atlanta. They may have other locations I don't know about. Those are the three I know about. Most companies send you to the terminal closest to your house. Here, they send you to the terminal closest to your truck. I do have terminal preferences. I do think some are better than others. It's not something I want to share in a video, but you know, if we're talking, I'll kind of discuss some of that in more detail with you, why I like certain places better than other places. But they're all going to do the job. They're all going to get your paperwork done. They're all going to get you in your truck, things like that. When I went, the hotel had breakfast, they provided lunch, and dinner was on you. When I went, they didn't pay anything for orientation because you're an independent contractor. So that may have changed. I don't know if that's something that's important to you. That's another great question for a recruiter. I'm just telling you how it was back in August when I went through. Okay, moving right along. Lease details. I've been getting a lot of questions about how much will the truck payment be? How much will this be? How much will that be? It comes down to who you lease your truck from and what truck you lease. They're not all the same price. I shared in another video, this Volvo I'm in was like $42 a week cheaper than the International I was in prior to that. That is unusual. Usually the Internationals are cheaper. So that's another question that a recruiter will be able to answer for you and give you a little more detail than what I'm able to in this format. And so next, let's talk about, I got to look at my notes here. I just covered truck payment. Truck speed. How fast will my truck go? This is kind of a tough question to answer too. It depends on the truck and where you've leased it from. I've heard of speeds anywhere from 72 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. I don't know what your truck will run. Odds are your recruiter won't know what your truck will run. They'll have a general idea. So I would tell you, though, it doesn't matter, and here's why. They're going to introduce you to a guy in orientation that runs 57 miles an hour wherever he goes. And he claims he's making a killing because of his savings and fuel economy. I have no reason to doubt him, but I'm not going to lie to you either. I don't run 57 miles an hour. I'd fall asleep after about 200 or 300 miles. I also don't run wide open all the time either. I don't ever run wide open, to be honest. I try to do 65 whenever possible, but if you hadn't seen any of my other videos before, I usually run 3,500 to 4,000 miles a week. I usually say around 3,800. So I wouldn't be able to do that at 57 miles an hour. We could debate if I make more running a little bit faster, or if I'd make more running 57 and less miles. But that's just what I do. When you get here, you'll figure out what works for you, what lanes you like to run, what fuel economy you like. This is something that's not in my notes, but I want to mention this too. You know, a minute ago I mentioned be flexible. I've met drivers over the years that I don't run here, I don't run there, I don't do this, I don't do that. And I would say to you, never say never. You know, I had a guy I talked to a while back, and he didn't tell me, but when he got on the phone with the recruiter, he came up with this list of demands of all these states he didn't want to go to and sections of the country he didn't want to run. And the recruiter was honest with him. She's like, it's going to be hard for you to make money because you've tied your hands. You've restricted yourself so much. Whereas a lot of these dishonest companies would have just said, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just run where you want. I'm going to tell you, you may hate California or New York or wherever. Don't say you won't go there, because in the right situation, you might go there. If you say absolutely under no circumstances, then an opportunity might come up that you're going to get passed over for because you said under no circumstances. And so you're going to pick your own loads here, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. You can pick where you go, but have an open mind so that they can present all the options to you and you can make the best decision for your business. So I'm not going to lecture anymore about that, but that's something I wanted to mention. Next, let's talk about ELogs. Now, there's a lot we need to say about this. One guy recently asked me, does it have the deal where after 5 miles an hour it goes on the drive line? Yes, that is a federal law. Any company you go to work with now should have that in place. As they switch from the, I hope I get the acronym right, AOBRDs to the ELDs, that went away. So, yes, Roadrunner follows the law. They want you to be safe. They want you to be compliant. So, if it's a DOT requirement, you can bet Roadrunner's going to have it, and they're going to expect you to follow all state and federal regulations. Now, what kind of ELog do they use? If you have an iPhone, you're going to be on Rand McNally for now, and they're going to try to get you to get an Android device. If you have an Android, you're going to get Omnitrax, and it's a far superior system. You will be much happier and in a much better place the quicker you can get on the Omnitrax system. So that's really all I've got to say about that. And let's move on to the next question. This video is running long. Sorry it's taking so long, but I really wanted to get these questions answered for everybody. Next would be, where's picking loads? How does that work? How do you get your loads here? A minute ago I mentioned you can pick your own loads. Let me give you an example. I left Dallas, Texas, and I came out to Mariloma, California. When I left Dallas, I told them I was going to be out here, let's see, what was it? Monday night. So I said, put me on the Mariloma board for Monday night. Now, they know where I like to run. I tell my fleet coordinator what I'd like to do. They have a list at each of the terminals. He puts me on that list. The sooner I know I'm going to be there, the higher I'm going to be on that list. And he'll call me back. He'll say, well, I've got this load, and this load. I'll say yay or nay to those three. Say, hey, I really wanted to do this. Do you have this? And he'll say, let me check. And he'll check, and he'll say yay or nay. So now I get loaded in Mariloma with a Chicago load. Now, what they call Chicago is actually Bolingbrook, which is about 30 or 40 miles west of Chicago. So you're not in the really bad downtown stuff, Chicago, that everybody's so terrified of, the low bridges and everything. It's right off I-55. It's easy to get in and out of. I don't mind going to Chicago, and it pays well. And so tomorrow morning, I didn't do it today because I'm recapping right now and bumping my logbook, so I'm kind of waiting to see how my hours go. But tomorrow morning I'll tell him that I'll be in Chicago sometime Friday and ask him to put me on the board for Friday night. And I'll probably ask for a Dallas load because it's about a day and a half, 2-day drive, and that way I can get it on this week's pay period before Sunday at midnight. Now, that's basically how it works. It's not a load board per se. They have an app you can download and you can look at what's on their deal, but sometimes they have other stuff that's not on there. And I've found working with a fleet coordinator and just texting him and letting him do the legwork seems to be a real efficient way to do things. And so that's how that picking loads works. Now, I live in Lubbock, Texas. They don't have a terminal within 300 miles of Lubbock. The closest one's almost 400 miles away. So, oftentimes to get home, if I'm going to be there for a couple of days. Now, we need to talk about that too. We'll get into home time here in a minute. But if I'm going home for 3 or 4 days, I usually take a broker load. Now, I always use a company called Ascent Logistics, which is under the Roadrunner umbrella of companies. But they also have C.H. Robinson, or at least they says they do on their load app. But I had never used C.H. Robinson with this company. I always just use Ascent Logistics, and I've had pretty good success with them. And so typically what I'll do is I'll take a broker load home, do my home time, and then take a broker load out to one of the terminals. And then I'll get back into my LTL rhythm of running between terminals. So yes, you can do some broker loads, but over the long term, you're going to make more money doing the terminal to terminal stuff, because for the most part, it's drop and hook, and they'll take it as soon as you can get it there. So it compresses your time to where you can get more miles in, and you can get out from under the load and reload it a lot quicker. And so I know a lot of guys really want to work the load boards, and you don't actually do that per se, but you can work with brokers. And but I don't know anybody that does that as their primary deal. Everybody pretty much agrees you can do better on the terminal to terminal. So that's how that works. Let's see. I got to turn a light on. It's getting dark. Rates. They're going to give you a sheet when you get to orientation, and it'll tell you the rates for all the different lanes. It's like a graph thing, and it depends where it picks up and where it delivers, and you follow the lines and it'll show you the rate. On top of that, you get fuel surcharge. So, for example, if it says $1.20 a mile, that's not all you're getting. You're getting fuel surcharge on top of that. Some of them pay as high as $1.95 a mile. This is where your trucking experience comes in, because you've got to think about the terrain you'll cover, the cost of your fuel, any tolls, things like that. They don't pay tolls for the most part. They have some what I would call toll surcharges for certain areas where they'll pay extra on a load, and it helps with tolls, but it doesn't cover them all. So you've got to figure all those in for bottom line. You can't just go, oh, well, that one pays $1.95 a mile plus fuel surcharge, I'll take it. You have to look at the whole picture. And when you get out there and get running, if you got any questions, you can email me, and we can discuss what you're looking at, and I can give you my opinion. I recommend doing a little bit of everything in the beginning so that you can find what works for you. The things I like doing may not be the things that you like doing. And so just kind of keep an open mind, especially the first month or two until you get your feet wet. Alrighty. Home time. How often can I go home? I'm a little puzzled by this question. I get it a lot. And I realize that a lot of guys are asking this question because they've been with companies that were taking advantage of them. The honest answer is you can go home anytime you want to. It's your business. I've never once said I was going home that anybody questioned me, told me I couldn't. But you're running a business. If you close your business for a week to go home, you've got to understand that truck payment's still coming out, the insurance is still coming out. You're going to come out in the hole, and you're going to owe money, and you might not get a check for a week or two. So be wise about your home time. Now, that load I mentioned where I went from Dallas to Mariloma, California, I ran through the house on that load. I took my 10-hour break at home. I do that oftentimes instead of taking days off at home. Now, if my wife has a doctor's appointment or I have a doctor's appointment, on the 23rd of March, I'm going home. I'm going to be home for several days. I got to do taxes. I got to go to the doctor. I've got a lot of things to do. So I do take time off, and I take a lot of time off, a lot more than I should. But home time's really going to come down to you and what your financial needs are. If you're a person with a lot of debt, you probably don't want to take a lot of time off, at least initially or until you get the truck paid off. but that's a decision you're going to have to make. I can't tell you. Now, the recruiter's going to tell you you'll make more money if you stay out 3 to 4 weeks at a time. That's kind of true. You will make more money the longer you stay out. Just like if you stay out 6 months, you'll make more money. But you have to think about what is the definition of home time, first of all. Is your home time a 10-hour break like I took on my way out to California? Or do you want to go home for 10 days? If you want to go home 5 or 6 days at a time, yeah, you probably need to stay out a few weeks at a time. If you live in Dallas and you just want to pass through, you're probably going to be able to do that quite a bit. Especially if you're out west, catch a load to Atlanta, run right through Dallas. Take a 10-hour break at home. Now, if you live in Lubbock like I do, it takes a little more planning, but it still can be done. And that's another thing, when you get your truck and get running, you can email me, tell me where you live, and I'll help you form a strategy to where you can both be profitable and still go home without having the dog growl at you because you haven't been there in so long. So everything in moderation. You don't want to stay out 6 months and never see your family, but at the same time, you're probably not going to be home every night. You'll find what works for you after you've done this a few weeks or a couple of months. And like I said, I'm here to offer advice and my 2 cents worth on those things. Alrighty, moving next. I've already talked about the brokers and the load boards, and so we'll skip that one. Again, there's not an actual load board that you can go on. The closest to it is that app that Roadrunner offers. You can see what the terminal loads are, and then you just call the broker and work directly with them on the phone. And it's not a bad setup. I recommend Ascent Logistics. I've had good luck with them, and so that's my 2 cents worth on that. And the next question on the list, my pay. How much do I make? I've done a video. It's been a while. I'm going to do another one before too long where I'll give you my pay, but it's really irrelevant, and I'll tell you why. Your truck payment will probably be different than mine. Your choices in insurance will probably be different than mine. They have several options on insurance here for the truck. I have some optional ones, like a liability limiter, like an extra cargo insurance. I have medical, dental, and vision insurance. So depending on what insurances you select, you can even go outside of Roadrunner. If you get your insurances from OOIDA, your take home might be a lot different than mine. I'm also set up with ATBS for accounting services, and that's actually the next question. I'll get into that in just a second. But my income and yours will be totally different. You might be better at buying fuel than me. You might be a better time manager than me. It wouldn't shock me at all if I'm right in the middle of the company and about half make more than me and half make less than me. But the problem and my big concern about doing those income videos is if I tell you I'm making X number of dollars a week and you come here and you make less than X number of dollars a week, you're either going to be mad at Roadrunner or you're going to be mad at me. And I would rather you come here and do your best and let the chips fall where they may. Now they're going to do a deal when you're going through the hiring process called the welcome call, and somebody's going to call you and they're going to talk to you and you're going to tell them what your income expectations are, and they're going to tell you if they think you can make it here or not. And I'll be honest, I think they lowball it a little. You'll probably make a couple $100 a week more than what they tell you, but they're trying to play it safe and give you realistic expectations. I would also tell you, when you're giving them those expectations, be realistic. You're not going to make $3,000 a week, week in and week out, take home after everything comes out. If you hit them at $3,000 a week, they're going to tell you it's probably not attainable here because you're going to want to go home at some point. your truck's going to break down at some point. And so you have to factor those things in. At the same time, don't lowball yourself. If you say, my bills are $600 a week, I just need to make $600 a week take home, they're going to tell you, yeah, that's real attainable, but it's not really, because you're self-employed, you're a 1099 independent contractor, so you're going to have to pay taxes out of that money. So I'm going to tell you, you probably need $1,500 to $1,800 a week, but I'm figuring that off of my bills. I don't know what your bills are. And so just keep that in mind when you're talking to them. They're going to give you a better estimate than I can about what you'll make. But I don't mind sharing the income, because it kind of gives people a ballpark idea. And again, if you want to email me and talk income expectations with me, I'll be happy to do that. I've got a special phone in here set up for YouTube questions, and occasionally I'll give that number out for guys that have questions they need answering. And so next we're going to talk about ATBS. That's who I use for my taxes. They get a message from Roadrunner directly that has all of my settlement deductions on there, simplifies things. Receipts that I do out here on the road, I can just take a picture of it and email them to them. And I get quarterly statements and quarterly estimates and all of that, and it works real good. Now, I've had a few people ask me about, should I form an LLC? Should I form an S Corp? Should I get incorporated? I'm not a legal professional. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a tax expert. So I would refer you to ATBS for those type of questions, or maybe a financial planner. I know my brother has asked me in the past about filing an S Corp, and I'm looking into those things, but I'm by no means an expert. And I would just say you need to talk to someone about that. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great night. Bye-bye.